Okay, this is 5-16. The homework, we're using inverse operations to write related equations. And then we solving them for x. So we have x minus 8 equals 2. So to use an inverse operation, we then add 8 to 2. Right? Doing the exact opposite of what is above, and thus solving x for equaling 10. Same thing, we have x plus 6 equals 15. So if we subtract 6 from 15, then x is equal to 19. Here again, we're doing the inverse operation. We started with addition, we went to subtraction. Here we have x plus 4 equals 5. So then we subtract 4 from 5, and x equals 1. Inverse operations. Started with addition, went to subtraction. Same pattern, x minus 13 becomes x plus 13, right? X equals 19. X minus 21 equals 7, so x 7 plus 21 equals 28. X plus 14 equals 34, so when we subtract, x equals 20. Okay. Write and solve the equation each model represents. Circle the tiles you remove from both sides. So here we have an x. These long ones stand for variables. We're adding 2 to it. Right over here. So in order to remove it, we have to take that 2 away. Take that 2 away. What we're left with is this variable, x, is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what we see down here. Right? X plus 2 is equal to the 6. We take away 2 from both sides, and we're left with 4. Just another way of looking at the same process. Once again, we have this x variable, right? We're adding 4 to it. And that is equal to this group of 12, right? So whatever x is, you add 4 to it, you get 12. So let's take 4 away from both sides, and what we're left with is this x equals this 8. Okay. Now 9 through 16. All right, there are many ways you could use either graphing or graphing or whichever. You add 5 to both sides, right? And x is left being 9, right? And you check that. 9 minus 5 equals 4. So when they say check by substitution, you take your x and you put it in here for the x. So we started off with x minus 5. We put the 9 in for the x. We get 9 minus 5, which equals 4. And since that's mathematically true, we know that our answer, our x, is right. So we subtract 2 from 9, right? And that equals x. Yes, that is a 9. Right? Leaving us with x equaling 7. And if we put 7 back in, we can see that the answer is correct. Alright, so x equals 23 plus 39. right? So x equals our 62. And if we put them together, we do the substitution, 62 minus 39 equals 23. So x equals 174 minus 98, which is equal to the 76. And if we put 76 plus 98 together, they do equal 174. So this one is checked and true. So x equals, using the inverse operation once again, x equals 12 minus 10, right? So if we then, so that would be 2. So then if we say 2 plus 10 equals 12, that's a true statement, so it checks. Check. All right, we have x equals 4 plus 2.6, so that's going to equal x equaling 6.6, and if we check it, 6.6 minus 2.6, that equals 4. Okay, we've got, for 15, x minus 2/3 equals 3 1/3. So if we say x equals 3 1/3 plus 2/3, x equals 4. And if we take 4 and we subtract 2/3, we do indeed get 3 1/3. So that one also checks. Then we have x plus 2/3 equals 5. Yeah, that was the original problem. Duh. So we want to do the inverse. X equals 5 minus 2/3, which is 4 1/3. We sub that back in. 4 1/3 plus 2/3 is equal to 5, so that also checks. And so we're done with side 1. Okay, so we need to evaluate for number 6. We need to evaluate, that means stick in 1/2 for the x. So we take 6, and 1/6, we multiply it by 1/2, and we get 1/12 plus 1/2. Now, because I want to add it to this 12, I'm going to turn that 1/2 into 6/12, right? And so we come up with 7/12, right? We got 1 2/3 multiplied by the 1/2. When we sub in that 1/2 for the x, I'm going to turn this into an improper fraction. So this is 5/3. I'm going to multiply that by the 1/2. Right, and so that would become, that 5/3 will become, when multiplied by 1/2 will become 5/6. We might then compare these two, so we have 7/12 versus 5/6, so I'm just going to put 7/12 over here for all of these. These are all 7/12, and then I'm going to turn this 5/6 into 10/12. Okay, is 10/12 equal to 7/12? No. Is 7/12 is less than 10/12? Yes. Is 7/12 greater than 10/12? No. So yes is the only one that 1/2 is a solution for. Okay. And here they just want us to solve the equations by thinking about what value of m will make both sides of the equation equal. We have 4 times 6. And then we have 4 times m plus 4, so 2 will make the m into a 6, and that will make both sides equal. We have 17 plus 2m, right? So we make that 14, because then 2m would be equal to 28, because it would be 2 times 14, which is 28. Then we have 132 divided by 2. So we sub in 11 for the m, because that would make m 11 times 12, which is 132, also divided by 2. Stretch your thinking. If you have questions about, I'll be happy to discuss it with. And that is the end of 5-16.